Canada would arrest Israeli PM if he came to Canada, Trudeau. Canada is a member of the International Court. Canada is required to arrest anyone who is in violation of this international court. This isn't a political issue. Doesn't matter who the Prime Minister is. The choice is arrest the individual or withdrawal support for the International Court. Just came here to point out that this headline is clickbait. Trudeau did not specifically say he would arrest Netanyahu, but that he would abide by all regulations and rulings of the international courts. What that actually means on any given day is very open to interpretation. He then follows up by advocating for more aid, the release of hostages, and that Hamas lay down their weapons and condemns Hamas. I love how the Sun is framing this like Trudeau is literally standing at the airport with handcuffs, waiting at the incoming flights from Israel. Netanyahu isn't leaving Israel anytime soon, so this is nice but ultimately performative. In other words, he would follow international law. I'd be more concerned if our PM saw himself as above international criminal law. Yeah, Canada would arrest him and then what? Let him out on bail within a day and let him leave the country? Trudeau is all talk. Support for immigration in Canada plunges to lowest in decades. Immigration levels should reflect both our qualitative and quantitative needs, not just high numbers. Too many people, not enough anything, homes, jobs, roads. This was a math issue. And they failed. Even those of us who are very liberal recognize that they've gone way too far. Even ignoring the whole flooding the population with all immigrants from one country. We simply do not have the infrastructure to support the population increase. We don't have the housing, doctors, schools, etc. Plus, we're admitting so many people who are entering based on fraud. Not the sort of people who help build a better society. Support for deportation at its highest. Most anyone living around southern Ontario who has lived here for over 10 years feels this way. Removed. Ontario semi-driver wanted on countrywide arrest warrant after crash killed Manitoba mom. Daughter, CBC News. Need to start criminally going after these trucking companies. Owners. Who hire these idiots? Hope the family sues them for everything they are worth. I guess the government learned nothing from Humboldt. I guess we'll let more people die before we regulate our long-haul drivers? These trucking training schools need to be shut down. And all those that got their credentials and permits from them need to be retested. So many preventable accidents. SMH. Why was he not taken in custody after the hospital released him? Damn, that MP wasn't wrong. Nearly 1 in 5 Canadians using food banks have jobs, as visits passed 2 million in a month for the first time. Greater than this year, more than 2 million Canadians visited food banks in just 1 month. Double the visits from a decade ago. As food and shelter inflation has made millions more in the country food insecure. What happened a decade ago that could have caused this? For me, one of the most concerning things about this is that child poverty is also rising sharply. https www.cbc.ca/news/politics/campaign-2000-national-report-card-child-poverty-1.7387176. Greater than child poverty is rising swiftly in Canada, and the Liberal government's Canada Child Benefit has lost its power to sustain poverty reduction and bring down income inequality, says a new report from Campaign 2000. Greater than the anti-poverty group's annual report card on child and family poverty in Canada found that there are now 1.4 million children living in poverty across the country, with another 360,000 children falling into poverty over the last 2 years. Consider how this fits in with the government's recent plan for a GST tax holiday for 2 months. And how that is almost certainly doing to do nothing to address the underlying problem. Starting to think that things are tough for an awful lot of Canadians. Contrary to how good we have it according to Trudeau. Of course. In brief, this year, more than 2 million Canadians visited food banks in just 1 month. Double the visits from a decade ago. As food and shelter inflation has made millions more in the country food insecure. In March 2018. For the first time in 25 years, Canada surpassed 1 million food bank visits in 1 month. According to the report, just 6 years later visits surpassed 2 million. Food Banks Canada collects national food bank data in March each year. The month is chosen as a typical month for food bank visits. According to the report's methodology, the 1-2 punch of food and housing inflation is the primary cause of Canadians' record food bank usage. Acknowledged the report. As a result, the portion of employed people requiring food banks was the largest ever recorded. Between 2018 and 2022. Food insecurity across the Canadian population rose 42%, while the government and the establishment is still pushing the best economy ever. Do not worry, you can now order in food, get drunk, and buy toys and not pay GST for a couple months. Food bank demand should go right down. After years of decline, child poverty in Canada is rising swiftly, report. It takes a special kind of magic to make child poverty go up after you've goosed the Canada Child benefit to up to $8,000 per child and indexed it to inflation. Made daycare $10 per day in many places. And started offering free dental care for people with low mid-incomes. Poverty is increasing across all ages, not just in children. Child poverty in Canada is typically measured using the low-income measure, LIM, which is defined as the percentage of children living in households with incomes below 50% of the median household income after taxes. This measure is used by Statistics Canada and other organizations to track child poverty rates across the country. In Canada, child poverty is often defined as a situation where a child under the age of 18 lives in a household with an income below the LIM threshold. This threshold varies depending on the household size and composition. It's fine. When asked about rising child poverty, I'm sure Trudeau will find a way to blame Harper's government. From 10 years ago. If we look at StatCan data for people aged 0 to 17. Linked in the article. Year 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Percentage of persons in low income, 21.8, 20.9, 19.6, 18.6, 18.2, 17.7, 13.5, 15.6, 18.1, we are still lower than we were in 2014-2018. But the pandemic and CERB really helped out a lot of low-income people, creating a big drop in 2020 that we've bounced back up from. From 2006 to 2013, the rate stayed between 22.8 and 22.2. But, hey, at least it's post-national child poverty.